What if I told you that your closest friend might be silently screaming for help, and you don't even know it? What if that person is you? Right now, millions of people are walking around with invisible wounds that nobody talks about. They could be sitting next to you at work, standing behind you in line at Starbucks, maybe even looking back at you in the mirror. And here's the terrifying part. These wounds have their own secret language, sending out distress signals we've learned to ignore or misinterpret. Today, we're going to decode those hidden messages. Because once you understand what your brain is really trying to tell you, everything changes. Buckle up. This might get uncomfortable, but it could save your life or someone you love. Number 10. The flesh archaeologist. Sarah was a straight-A student, a dedicated daughter, and to everyone around her, the picture of success. But every night, she'd lock her bedroom door and spend hours picking at her skin. Her arms looked like a battlefield, scabs, scars, and fresh wounds telling a story nobody else could read. This isn't just a bad habit. This is excoriation disorder, also known as skin-picking disorder. According to the TLC Foundation for Body-Focused Repetitive Behaviors, it affects more than 5% of Americans, over 16 million people. So what's really happening? When life feels overwhelming, the nervous system gets dysregulated. The brain fires off these intense, electric-like signals that demand immediate action. The hands become like heat-seeking missiles, targeting any imperfection. And in that moment, picking isn't self-harm. It's a misguided form of self-regulation, a way to feel a sharp, manageable pain instead of drowning in invisible chaos. During the picking, there's a fleeting sense of relief, like scratching a maddening itch. But afterward, shame. Sarah would stare at her torn skin and think, "What's wrong with me?" The truth, nothing is wrong with her. Her brain is just speaking a language nobody ever taught her to translate. And that language is saying, "The world feels out of control. But this is a pain I can manage." But flesh archaeology is just the beginning. Wait until you hear about the ritual rulers. Number 9. The ritual ruler. Meet David. Every morning, he taps his coffee mug exactly 7 times before taking a sip. He checks his car doors 4 times before leaving for work. His friends joke he's particular. But David knows the truth. If he doesn't do these rituals, something terrible will happen. This is obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD. Not the neat freak stereotype Hollywood sells. According to the International OCD Foundation, it's not about being organized. It's about living with a terrorist inside your mind, whispering threats nonstop. David's brain convinces him, if you don't tap, your mom will die. He knows it makes no sense, but emotionally, it's undeniable. Each ritual buys him 30 seconds of peace before terror surges back, demanding a higher ransom. And if you think that's exhausting, imagine living in a world where every smile hides a conspiracy. Number 8. The shadow detective. Lisa can't enjoy compliments. When her coworker says, "Nice presentation," Lisa hears, "She's mocking me." A delayed text? Proof of betrayal. This is paranoid personality disorder, PPD. Life becomes a never-ending detective story, where everyone's a suspect and every kindness masks a hidden threat. Her brain acts like a bodyguard on overdrive, scanning for danger that isn't there. A butterfly landing on glass gets treated like a burglar smashing through it. The cruel irony? Lisa longs to trust people, but her brain won't let her. Every interaction feels like a trial, with her on the stand and the world as jury. But what happens when your brain doesn't see threats? It stops seeing emotions at all. Number 7. The emotional blackout. When Marcus's father died, he didn't cry. When his girlfriend left, he just shrugged. His friends admired his strength. But Marcus felt like he was behind bulletproof glass, safe but numb. This is emotional blunting, often linked to severe depression or PTSD. It's the brain's circuit breaker. When emotional circuits overload, they shut down to prevent total collapse. He can see others feeling joy, grief, excitement, but for him, it's silent. Like watching a movie with the sound turned off. Society calls it resilience. But Marcus would give anything to feel again, even pain. Because numbness isn't peace. It's a sterile prison. And speaking of prisons, let's meet someone trapped inside their own emotions, without the words to describe them. Number 6. The emotion detective with no badge. Jennifer is a CEO. Brilliant. Decisive. Immune to criticism. But there's a secret. She has no idea what she feels, ever. This is alexithymia, a trait where people can't identify or describe their emotions. Think of it as emotional colorblindness. She doesn't feel anxious, just a racing heart. Not sad, just tired. When her kids ask if she's happy, she literally doesn't know how to answer. To outsiders, it looks like superhuman calm. But her husband feels married to a beautiful robot. Her children doubt her love. She cares deeply, but can't bridge the gap between feeling and expression. If being numb to emotions is painful, imagine being consumed by objects instead. Number 5, the fortress builder. Margaret's home is stacked with newspapers, broken appliances, and just-in-case items. Her family calls her messy. But Margaret is building a fortress against fear. This is hoarding disorder, a condition linked to difficulty making decisions and overwhelming attachment to objects. Each item feels like protection against an uncertain world. Throwing anything away isn't cleaning up. It's terror. A voice whispering, "What if you need this? What if disaster strikes?" Margaret knows her house is unlivable. But the fear of discarding is stronger than her shame. She's trapped inside the fortress her brain convinced her to build. From objects to fantasies, meet the architect of alternate realities. Number 4, the reality architect. Tommy tells wild stories, alligator wrestling, dating a movie star, almost going pro in sports. Sometimes he even believes them. This is pathological lying, also known as pseudologia fantastica. It's not just deceit, it's survival. Lies give a momentary high, a way to escape a reality that feels inadequate. Each lie is a drug hit. Each story, a temporary refuge. But the web grows, trapping Tommy in his own fiction. The tragedy? He craves genuine connection, but his lies make it impossible. If lies can become prisons, what about energy so high it feels like flight? Until you crash? Number 3, the rocket ship with no landing pad. Amanda hasn't slept in 3 days. She started 5 businesses, bought a car she can't afford, and booked a trip to Europe. She feels unstoppable. This is hypomania, part of bipolar 2 disorder. The brain's reward system is jammed on, flooding her with energy and confidence, while shutting down risk control. It feels like enlightenment, like genius, but it's unstable fuel. The crash will come, leaving Amanda staring at the wreckage, wondering, was that even me? From rocket ships to bunkers, let's see what happens when fear builds walls too high to climb. Number 2, the fear architect. Kevin wants friends. He craves connection. But every social invite feels like a courtroom where he's already guilty. So he stays home, builds walls, convinces himself he's safer alone. This is avoidant personality disorder, AVPD. Unlike introversion, which is about recharge, AVPD is about fear. A deep belief in one's own inadequacy. His mind is a hyper-vigilant bodyguard. Don't go, they'll reject you. A simple no isn't scheduling. It's proof he's unworthy. The cruel irony? People with AVPD are often deeply empathetic. They avoid others not because they don't care, but because they care too much. And rejection feels catastrophic. And finally, let's meet someone whose brain has completely broken its own emergency brake. Number 1, the life roulette player. Jake quit his 6-figure job to play music on the street. Yesterday he bought a motorcycle he can't afford. His friends think he's adventurous. But Jake isn't choosing. He's hijacked by impulses. This is impulse control disorder. Neuroscience shows dysfunction in the prefrontal cortex, the brain's brakes. For most people, there's a pause between impulse and action. For Jake, that pause doesn't exist. It's like driving downhill with no brakes. He sees the cliff but can't stop. He realizes the damage, but only after it's too late. Then the cycle repeats. Here's what nobody talks about. None of these are flaws. They're survival strategies, the brain's desperate attempts to cope. Sarah's skin picking isn't self-destruction. It's self-medication. David's rituals aren't quirks. They're prayers against terror. Lisa's paranoia isn't distrust. It's a bodyguard that doesn't know how to rest. Every one of these behaviors once served a purpose. To keep someone safe in a world that felt unsafe. The tragedy isn't that these exist. The tragedy is that we call them weird, instead of recognizing them as distress signals. If you saw yourself in any of these stories, here's what I want you to know. You're not broken. You're not crazy. Your brain isn't your enemy. It's trying to protect you, with tools that have simply outlived their usefulness. Healing starts with translation. learning the language of your brain, and teaching it new ways to keep you safe. You deserve support. You deserve understanding. And you deserve to know healing is possible. If this resonated with you, please like and subscribe. But more importantly, share your story in the comments. Use phrases like mental health awareness, anxiety symptoms, or depression signs so others can find this community. Your vulnerability might be the lifeline someone else is searching for. And remember, seeking help isn't giving up. It's the bravest thing you can do. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. So make sure to subscribe to see them so you don't miss it.